going on, Jerome's? So your Minnesota Vikings have had a bit of a journey this season at the quarterback position. First off, start off as Kirk Chains 2.0. Kirk is playing on MVP adjacent level. Vikings were getting off the mat after a horrific start. It's unfortunate. Man. But then Kirk popped his Achilles against the Packers, and then came in the rookie Jaren Hall, the Mormon missile, the 5th-round pick, future franchise quarterback, but then he got concussed on his second drive. Looked pretty good, though. And then the Pashnok came in and won 2 games for the Vikings, and then not so much. But now it's back, well, not back for the first time, ludicrous style, to the veteran, originally QB2 Nick Mullens. And we said this before. Nick Mullens has been QB2 the entire duration of the Kevin O'Connell regime, where he was quarterback 2 last year after coming over in a trade from the Raiders, as well as he was quarterback 2 at the start of training camp, tweaked up his back, went on injured reserve. That's when Jaren Hall came in. That's when they traded for Josh Dobbs. But originally, Nick Mullens was the backup quarterback, and now he will get his chance as the 4th freaking quarterback to start for the Vikings this year, which is a franchise record. So here are 10 things that the pride of Southern Miss needs to do for the Vikings against the Bengals on Saturday and going forward. Number 1, don't turn the ball over. That's what it comes down to, man. And I don't know if it's good that the Vikings are 29th in the league in turnovers and they're 7-6, or if it's immensely frustrating, because if they took care of the football and stopped throwing picks and stop fumbling and all that stuff, the Vikings probably would have a much better record and be sitting pretty right now, but it is what it is. But, with Mullens, when he got his opportunities to start, has had 18 career starts, career 27 touchdowns, 23 interceptions. And a lot of the times it's like, okay, he was a mop-up duty during 2018 and to a degree 2020 with the Niners. And, do you put it all on him? Sure. But also he's not afraid to sling it. He does need to reel that in a little bit, because that's what got Josh Dobbs benched, where he was turning the ball over left, right, and center during the time under center, and then the offense was just inert against the Raiders. And you saw what Nick Mullens did against the Raiders, where he was 9-13. He got the ball out quick, he distributed, and he marched the Vikings down for the game-winning field goal. That put the game to 3-0, and that's all that he needs to do. Next up, number 2. Speaking of which, ball out quick. And, beyond, Dobbs, with the accuracy, with everything like that, I think that the worst thing about him, the worst thing he did was standing in the pocket. Now, part of that is on Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips, but just was not getting the ball out. And that extra half a beat, half a second, 2 seconds with the offensive line puts a lot of stress on the O-line. And Mullens, like he needs to have a pretty quick internal clock and get the ball out of his hand quick, and that's something that Kirk Cousins did with a plum, and that's something that Nick Mullens hopefully can do going forward. Number 3, take what's there, right? Don't have to throw it in traffic. Don't have to make a big-time play. With this defense, all you have to do is operate the offense, take what is there. You can't go broke taking a profit. Checkdowns are okay. I know that Kirk Cousins always got a lot of flack for checkdowns, but what would you rather do? Have him throw in the double and triple coverage downfield? Low percentage throw? Is that what you want to do? But no, take what is there, get a couple first downs, get some points, move the chains, soak up some clock, and that defense is going to take care of you. Next up, number 4, no hospital balls. And with Dobbs, one that stands out is, of course, JJ against the Raiders, but also KJ against the Falcons. And ball placement is important. And with Nick Mullens, you do get accuracy, you do get timing, you do get rhythm, which is something that is a very much a plus for the offense right now. And just keeping your receivers upright, but beyond that, putting in a spot where A, they can catch the ball, B, they're not going to take a shot when they catch the ball, and C, are going to have an opportunity to turn upfield and get some yak. It's going to be really big because guess what? At the end of the day, average depth of target, air yards versus, hey, the receiver is going to take this quick pass and run with it. I mean, it still counts the same. I mean, look at Brock Purdy. He's built a career off of that. Next up, number 5, feed Justin F. and Jefferson. Now, don't need to force it, but it's going to be there with JJ. And he avoided major injury with that chest issue. The hamstring looks good to go. And you know that he's going to be hungry and hangry and champing at the bit to get back into this thing. And the Vikings offense is going to rise and fall with Justin Jefferson. And also, hopefully, they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit with Ty Chandler and company. But 18 is where your bread is going to be buttered. Now, again, take what's there. Don't necessarily need to force it. Don't need to throw into double and triple coverage to him all the time. But he needs to be your first read and your last read. There you go. Next up, number 6, wake Addison up. So Addison had a great start to his rookie campaign. Yes, a large part of it was when JJ was healthy, as well as when Kirk Cousins was on the center. But 56 catches, 713 yards, 7 touchdowns on 85 targets. That's pretty damn good. That is pretty damn good through 13 games. But since Kirk went down, 0 goose egg D'Angelo Russell touchdowns, as well as he only has a high of 69 receiving yards, which is not nice. But yeah, a lot of that is a changing of the offense, as well as Jaron Hall and especially Josh Dobbs. I mean, they weren't Kirk Cousins. And Mullens, he is a capable veteran backup. He's been in the offense, and he should be able to operate things. Next up, number 7. Keep Hockenson and Powell viable. Now, Powell is a lot of fun. I think that he is the wide receiver 3. I don't think it's KJ right now. And for as far as tight ends goes, I mean, tight ends are the security blanket of young and backup quarterbacks. And also, when Mullens was forced into action with the Niners in 2018 and 2020, his number 1 target was George Kittle. So look for Hockenson, keep 87 working in the middle of the field. And also, I mean, Brandon Powell's a lot of fun, man. Like short little dump off passes can turn into something. He's certainly there. Next up, number 8. Carry out play action. Now, the offense is going to change because Dobbs was in the shotgun quite a bit. Mullens is mainly going to be under center, and the Vikings are going to go back to multiple tight ends in all likelihood, and carrying out play action, making that viable, taking the profit off of play action, just hitting those crossers really quick, those tight ends, those receivers leaking out, and I think that. So the problem that I had with Jaron Hall in the brief time that we saw him, even though his second drive was really good, as well as with Dobbs, is that off of play action, booting to the right, it was right there. It was right there, but looking for something else, and then all of a sudden you just dump it off to the tight end, and he has to take a full stop to stay in bounds, or he's going to get tackled right away. No, just get it out, let your playmakers run, and then move on to the next play. Next up, number 9. Don't be a hero. Like, you don't have to be. With that defense playing the way it is, I mean, 3 points won the game against the Raiders. The Bears scored 12 points, right? And the Vikings defense have given up 1 touchdown in the last 12 quarters of football. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to put up 400 yards. You don't have to throw for 3-4 touchdowns. No, just operate the offense, distribute the ball, don't make mistakes, eat up some clock. And again, you do not have to be a hero. And Leslie, number 10, operate with confidence. And like we said, Nick Mullens, he knows the offense. He's been the Vikings' backup quarterback every single regular season game he's been healthy during the Kevin O'Connell regime. And he's taken snaps with these guys in training camp. He's taken snaps from Bradbury. He's thrown balls to JJ and Addison and Hockenson. Like, this is nothing new. Like, Dobbs certainly would have benefited from spending some more time here with the team. And frankly, if the Vikings gave him a full training camp, I think that he could be something, but he's not that right now. And the Vikings, they need stability on offense, and I do think that Nick Mullens can bring that, where he's not a rookie like Jaron Hall, even though Hall's got his upside. He's been in this offense, unlike Josh Dobbs, even though Josh Dobbs had his upside. So I think that all Nick Mullens has to do is take what's there, paint by numbers, and basically Brock Purdy this thing and rely on their defense. Vikings can do a lot of good things. Absolutely they can. But your thoughts are thoughts. 10 things that Nick Mullens needs to do for the Vikings against the Bengals and going forward. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.